color of your skin? Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Most of us blacks, or Negroes as he called us, really thought we were free without being aware that in our subconscious, all those chains we thought had been struck off were still there. And there were many ways where what really motivated us was our desire to be loved by the white man. Malcolm meant to lance that sense of inferiority. He knew it would be painful. He knew that people could kill you because of it, but he dared to take that risk.
He was saying something over and above that of any other leader of that day, while the other leaders were begging for entry into the house of their oppressor. He was telling you to build your own house.
Yo, 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 yo. We are back. It's Thursday night. Where you at? Sorry, I'm over here playing around with the knobs here because I had to move my equipment to get some work done behind the wall, and this is the first time we're doing anything since then. So hopefully the volume and everything is correct. Sorry about that. Tonight's show is called That's the Way It Is. And I got this show title because a couple of times this week I'm talking to the brothers and the sisters, and people are saying, well, that's just the way it is. And I'm thinking to myself, no, that's not the way it is. That's the way we allow it to be, because we don't speak up when certain folks are talking that yah and blah blah and really don't give a damn about what you're talking about or what you're saying or what you mean, because they have their own agendas. And we keep continuing to play this game about these agendas, and so many people, that's why it is the way it is, because you don't want to call people on their stuff. There was something going on CNN a couple of days ago, and the black woman just decided to go in and give it to him, and I was proud of the sister for going in and not letting them get away with that yah. I'm going to play that clip for you, then we're going to come back and talk.
We do have this issue where, Trump and his supporters are way over here, with a majority of people are MS-13 is the story, and then there's over here where a bunch of people wish that there kind of was no border and that there was a perfect system in which everyone could just come in and there would be no emotional or physical hardships, and that universe will never exist.
Right.
There will
Jake,
always be
America
sad stories, and they have just exacerbated this situation.
I mean, this country specializes in vilifying black and brown folks. Let's just be clear. The president picked that narrative about gang activity deliberately, because he's picking that narrative to explain our Hispanic, mainly Hispanic on the southern border, sisters and brothers. He doesn't use that same narrative with other immigrants in this country. Even when he made the shithole country comment, he was talking about countries and nations of color. So let's not delude ourselves. This is a deliberate narrative that the president has used. It is a deliberate policy that his administration has put in place to dehumanize black and brown people in this country, and it plays to a certain segment of this country.
Listen, I think this is the same president you're talking about that that has wanted to have a pathway for citizenship for 2 million illegals that President Obama didn't offer.
I mean,
that President Bush didn't offer.
That's all well and good.
But so how is that a racist policy?
What is he doing?
How's that a racist policy?
What is he doing right now?
He offered. The Democrats rejected that out of hand.
Forget the Democrats. The Republicans are in control, David.
I'm saying he put forth a credible proposal.
We didn't do it with the Republicans.
Also,
he did. He put forth a credible proposal.
I do look forward to the midterm pitch that the United States of America specializes in vilifying Black and brown people. I do not think that will work for Democrats.
They do.
Take it to the polls. Take it to the voters and enjoy.
No, we will take it to the polls, but the history of this country, too. How many examples would you like me to give you about how this country specializes in that?
This is not a great pitch.
16, 19. Next year, 1919, it'll be 400 years since the first Africans were brought to this continent as slaves. So it's not a pitch, it's a reality in this country. And the fact that you're taking such a cavalier attitude about the suffering of Black and brown people in this country is appalling.
No, it's not.
It's absolutely appalling. Are you trying to say that this country does not specialize in racism and bigotry?
I am saying that racism exists. I am saying that the United States of America
but you have the luxury. You have the luxury to be cavalier about it. But people, my folks, don't have the luxury of being cavalier about it.
Listen, I think the fact that
you don't understand my point because you never lived a day in my shoes or the shoes of my ancestors. This is not a political pitch. This is reality.
Mary Catherine, finish your point, and then Joe.
What I'm being cavalier about is something I think we all agree about, which is that the United States of America is the freest country on the face of the earth and gives the most opportunity.
Oppression.
I know that, but gives the most opportunity possible to brand us as
you're talking about this through a political lens. I'm talking about this through a life lens.
The saddest thing is that we have a president who plays on this division instead of trying to bring people together.
Oh, Joe, it's like gambling in Casablanca? Really? This president? Hasn't happened everywhere before?
That's
nowhere before?
Joe, let's just say this one's unconventional.
Joe, you specialize in this stuff, buddy. You run races.
That's whataboutism, man. You're right there with the whataboutism.
You did it. Joe, that's what you do for a living.
This is really messed up.
You spin for a living, bud.
This is really messed up. This is not a spin. People's lives are on the line. Kids have been separated from their parents. This is
president doesn't drive this division at all. Never.
This is not.
Just wanted to share that clip. The sister was going in, and it was that attitude, the cavalier attitude that she spoke about that the white woman had, and so many of them do have, when you're talking to them and trying to make a point that they don't want you to make a point. And this is our problem. Unlike this sister, we shut our mouths. We go along with it. And then it gets us nowhere. Well, if you just do this, then she's going to spew that this is the greatest country. Yeah, it's great for you all. It's not great for us. It's still an oppressive country. Still haven't made it right for Black folks. And man, you Black folks, they slowly pushing us out because our Latino brothers and sisters are stepping into those jobs. They're being less defiant and they're getting opportunities over you. Not saying that they don't work hard, but you worked hard too. But, they'll promote them. They'll say, I'm going to have less problems with Jesus than I am going to have with Robert. Robert wants to demand and stand up. Robert wants to be like me. Jesus just want to live, take care of his family. He came from a country where, he didn't have these opportunities. Just like Abig and Akmag and everybody else that comes to this country that we want to feel sorry for. How are you going to feel sorry for the people that the whites are making their new minorities and giving all the benefits to? You don't think you're competing against these people? You're definitely competing against these people. But you're more so being pitted against these people because they don't understand it. They'll say, hey, you guys have been in this country for a long time. Why aren't you more successful? See, they don't see the racism, and they don't have the 400 years of enslavement that we went through. 1619 to 2019, next year will be 400 years. And maybe a lot of it is more mental enslavement now, but they've been in control that long, and they've been able to block everything that comes about. I like the way the sister was talking, because what happens in a lot of conversations, nobody's looking beyond the consequences of what happened to black people in America. I call it beyond the consequences. And because of slavery and rules and regulations and Jim Crow laws, the only answer to us getting any type of foothold and equality in this country as a group is reparations. But they will constantly say, nope, we're not gonna do reparations, because we know that's gonna make y'all equal for real. And then you have these Negroes. This is just another problem. Just, go to school, do what masters say, and you too can be successful. We did a show before called How Do You Define Success? Now, some people just define the success as if I can get up and go to work and take care of my kids, and none of them go to jail and all of them go to college, that's success. Because that's the definition we've been given since we got here. All we ever got to do was look at white people's success in their country. By we hopping around and dancing and all that great stuff, we was dancing for their freedom. When they got the Statue of Liberty, and they had that great little saying on the bottom, and it was delivered to this country. It was September 1875. What's that, 10 years after we got out of slavery officially? And everybody that comes to this country and sees that statue saw liberty and justice for all and opportunity. But you black people, that's got nothing to do with you all. And you'll have a lot of people telling you this prosperity, and you too can make it. Yeah, we all can make it. Make it to the point where we're helping them more to build their society, where we're not putting in enough to our society. And we got to really start dealing with the young people. I've been going to these community meetings. I think I spoke about it on the last show, and it's just a lot of facts about incarceration and things like that. But there was nothing that said this is going to be a change in effect. And then I'm watching YouTube today, and someone had posted a video, I guess, of an incident that happened on July 14th inside a restaurant, where a young man was verbally assaulting an old lady. And this lady had to be in her late 70s or early 80s. And he said all types of cruel, foul crap to this woman. Held up a scooter like he was going to hit her in the head. There was one young man that kind of sat in between them. I'll give him that much credit. But there were 4 young men, and none of these young men had the decency to step in and say, dude, that's not cool. And that's what happens in our communities. Nobody steps in and checks people that are out of line. So we're not going to get anywhere if we're afraid to check our own people, check ourselves, check our behavior. I was just outraged. But it's not the first time I saw something like that. I came out one day on a sunny day, and I heard a woman screaming, and I'm looking up and down the street. I see people all over. It was on Drexel Avenue. They had like the grass part in the middle, and I'm looking, and I see this man. He's got this woman's purse, and he's kind of dragging her with it, and nobody's doing anything. Now I could have got in my car and just went on, but no. I go down there. This is at least almost a block away And I grabbed this brother, and he was kind of shocked. Like, but, dude, what is you doing? Oh, man, so-and-so and so-and-so. You know, she gets up, and, you know, she gets her purse, and then he realizes I'm not a police officer, and then everybody else is chiming in. That's right. You doing right, brother? All y'all was here. All y'all saw this. You were here at this location. We can't allow our women and elderly and young kids to continue to be a part of a silent community where we're letting other people take them down and run them over. People within the community are destroying the communities. You selling drugs does not help this community. It only destroys your people further. It's destroying you, and it's destroying the one that's using the drugs. It's got them out here doing crimes that they shouldn't be doing. Living a life. You not doing that constructive with your money. You buying shoes, cars, paying lawyers. All that selfish shit that goes on in the community that has to be put to a stop. It has to be put to an end. The drug dealer can't be the biggest businessman in the neighborhood. But we have to develop something else. Like I said, I'm at the town hall meeting, and they're talking about the incarceration rates and stuff like that. They're making it comfortable in prison now. You can get colored TVs, you can get house shoes, a house coat, you know. They got the little touch screen, and some of them you can order your commissary. It's comfortable for you. There's no rehabilitation. That's reincarceration. That's what it is. But it's a mindset that we can't keep pointing to the white people for. We're gonna have to start pointing at ourselves and saying, what is my life, and what am I doing toward my people to be a productive member of the black community that helps this community to grow? My grandmother always said, it's not the place, it's the people. Because bricks don't shoot, bricks don't kick, bricks don't hit. That's all people doing that. And you got this code of silence until it's your brother, sister, or somebody that gets shot and killed. Then you want everybody to speak up. Everybody has a part to play in the community. There's no getting around that you don't have a part, that you get to sit in the window and do nothing. 872-267-2552 is our phone line number. I'm going to open it up in case anybody wants to call in. 872-267-2552. We have all these conversations on what needs to be done. And I'm talking to a few women, and I told these women, I don't expect you to have to fight to protect the community, because that's really not your position. I know women are ready to fight. They'll fight an elephant if they have to. But since they've been put in that position, it is the wrong position for them to be in to relate to young men. They're going to tell them this and tell them this, and they're going to feel like they're raising men. But just like that, it's hard for a man to raise a female to be a woman, because they're just missing elements that we don't have to instill in her. So when you see a woman raising her daughter, she's giving her daughter all the information, all the mistakes, all the dangers, all the things to look out for. She's giving her the blueprint for how to be successful in the white man's world, how to make it happen, how to navigate, what dudes to mess with, what dudes not to mess with, how to handle your money. how to take care of your body, top to bottom, nails, everything. If 62% of the prison population is black, unable to get jobs when they get out because they got to check felony on the application, that cuts out a whole nother percentage of us out here that are educated to get a job. And you get that job and you're like, there's some bull. Because you start to see the politics and you start seeing the next level of BS. And you have to capitulate to the system in order to get your coins. And a lot of us don't mind that because we embrace the way we've been treated and molded and conditioned in this society. I'm not going to tell my children you're successful because you got a job in the white man's world. No, not really. I mean, that's what you want to do. And a lot of people want to do that and knock themselves out. And they want to live a certain way. And I want to live around white people. And I want to embrace this. And I want to go to Europe and enjoy what they're enjoying. Okay, knock yourself out. But you don't get to complain about everything that's going on in the neighborhoods because you have chosen not to support that or just support it in a different way. I'm trying to go back and open an establishment in a black neighborhood. I want to be an example of what can happen if we do go back, and people had a lot to say about that. I'm like, so everybody can move into our neighborhoods and make money and take money out of the neighborhood. But the black man should be afraid to go around his own people and make money with his own people and give back to the community and be an example and encourage others inside the community to do the same things and make a way to show them how to do the same things. For lack of vision, the people perish. You got to start thinking differently. The mindset has to change. I know in the Willie Lynch letter, it said it would take a shift in paradigm to break what was instilled in our forefathers in slavery, where they pitted us against each other on any and every level. Straight hair, nappy hair, light, dark, well-dressed, raggedy, house nigger, field nigger. Anything you can do to create division, old, young, and always keep a nigga in his place and don't ever let him get too high. Give him just enough where the others will envy him, but he will still fear us. We will still be in control of his life. Show the black woman that you have power over the black man. Destroy the black man in her presence, and she herself will start to train her children in the way that they should act and behave when it comes to the master. And since slavery days, black women have been doing what they can to protect their children, especially their male child. They coddle him, they cuddle him, they try to make sure he has everything because they know when he gets out into this real world, their deepest fear may be realized inside the community or outside the community with the effects of police officers. There was just a shooting in Chicago, what was that, a couple of days ago. A young man was running. Yes, he was out there in some illegal activity. That's what you arrest him for. But the young man ran and tried to hop a fence. He's got both hands on the fence. and they shoot him dead. They said, we found the gun. Okay, you had a gun, but he had both hands on the fence, meaning the gun was not in his hands. But cops are allowed to make that call, make that judgment. They don't seem to make it when it comes to white people, like the white young man that called a couple of weeks ago on himself and said he had a gun, and he did have a pellet gun. And I think it was just a test. I think one of his black friends talked to him, and he probably was like, man, this can't be true. Watch, I'm gonna go out here and they're probably gonna try to kill me. No, they're not gonna try to kill you. They don't kill white people. They try to talk them down. Look, Josh, this isn't the way, son. It's gonna be okay. And that's what you got to understand in this world. It's going to be okay for them. What Paul Mooney said, they had the complexion for the protection. So no matter how messed up their stuff is, they can turn around. You can walk past a homeless guy, a white homeless guy. He's probably got a degree. He's just being defiant of his parents. They always have the option of going home. And that's why we say white people can't be in the leadership role in our organization. Why would they be? Why would you accept this? It makes no sense. That means if he's in leadership, the white people say, well, we just talked to the other white man. They still don't have to give you any respect. I don't know what part of that people don't get. I don't have nothing against Father Pfleger. That community over there, he's done a great job. Like I said, I used to go to drug meetings over there. Great, but he should be trying to assist black leadership. But I guess black leadership has to step up and say, I want to be a leader. I'm a leader. And being a leader, it's going to take a lot of sacrifice, and none of us want to make that sacrifice. I often say, pay my bills, and I'll do it. But that's what allows Farrakhan to speak out. That's what allowed Malcolm to speak out. That's what allowed Martin to speak out. It took the support of the people and donations and money to help them. But all these brothers died with no money. Harry Belafonte, Sidney Poitier, a lot of actors and things had to put money in to support the civil rights movement. The biggest obstacle we were fighting during the civil rights movements was your government. The same government this woman was talking about, go to the polls and vote. Voting is the weakest leg we have, but it's a leg that we have to take advantage of to try to assert some power to get some resources, just like the Latinos do now. And they get theirs in Chicago, and most of them are supporting Mike Madigan, who is the same person that's giving us hell. That they don't look at it like that. They're like, shh, we getting our resources. He's giving us what we want. Why not roll with him? There's no black-brown coalition in Chicago. There's really no coalition with anyone, and we need to start to understand that and stop being so emotionally, I'm looking for a good word that doesn't offend everybody. Emotionally, I'll think of a word. But we too sensitive to the needs of other people and not sensitive to our own needs. If your kid drowning and somebody else's kid drowning, yeah, I would love to save both those kids. But guess which one I'm going to save? Same with them. Someone told me you can't do hypothetical situations. I'm looking at some of the comments. kind of far away, so it's hard for me to see because I'm blind. Says Father Mike should just be a mentor by now. He has quite a few young men who could be the next generation leadership from Auburn Gresham. I agree with you totally. Like I say, when I was doing drug counseling over there, that was 25 years ago. Not 20, about 20 years ago. We had to raise leadership. We had to raise them to be leaders, and not with that mindset of go to school, get a job, and go work for them. It's not like we don't have a blueprint. We've had a blueprint forever, starting way back with Tulsa, Oklahoma. But we had things in place before Medgar Evers got killed, Martin got killed, Malcolm X got killed. We had many little small towns where we were self-contained, and that's probably what it's going to take. We're going to have to be black and not ashamed of it and not ashamed to say it. Like the woman that was at the meeting, she was like, we can't keep dancing around scared to call white supremacy, scared to call racism, because all we do is fix the wrong problems. But like this sister was saying, they have the luxury of being cavalier, and she was really looking like she wanted to pop that white woman in the face. She was really getting pissed off at her. And we all get that pissed off feeling inside when you know they wrong. They know they wrong. But since they in power, they're going to continue that stuff. I go through that stuff on a constant basis at work. And I think it aggravates them because sometimes you just get to that point of, what you going to do? What you going to do? Because you rather them go ahead and do what they got to do. Sometimes it's worth losing that job or necessity to lose that job to find yourself, to find your purpose, to wake you up to who you are and what you really should be doing. We done spend too much time in the fields of these people, allowing them to benefit and grow they country. America is great again for them because it's never been great for us. And we need to stop smiling and giggling and going along just to get along. Often the Muslims would say we need some separate states and all this. That's the solution. A lot of churches don't want to talk about it. I know there's some churches out there now, and everybody's starting to catch on to the churches need to buy up some of the community. So when some of these young men do get out of jail, maybe we can have some projects, since they took away all the arts and training centers, vocational centers, that those who are skilled welders, builders, bricklayers can show young men. The churches can buy these businesses and operate these businesses within the community. The church members will benefit. The neighborhood will benefit. The crime level will go down. It will install some type of identity and dignity into the city, into your community. This is how you reestablish the community. Now, they changing Congress Parkway, part of it, to Ida B. Wells, and I guess we supposed to be happy. Oh, they giving us Ida B. Wells Parkway. We do realize that there was an Ida B. Wells housing complex on 39th and King Drive that has now been torn down, and the Mariano sit there, and it's all condos now, and it's not called Ida B. Wells. We're always supposed to smile when they take little stuff from us, and then when they give us something back, we're supposed to be happy and dance, and that's what kills me all the time. And I've told them that at work. Why would I be happy if you took something away from me and then you're telling me you give me an opportunity to give it back, that's called robbery. When we gonna stop being the victims of 400 years of oppression, singing this Kubala with people that aren't Kubala? And hey, there are some good white folks out there, okay? But that remember, they on that team, and they always had the option of switching to that team. And every organization of ours that fell or went under, it was always one of them that was able to go back and tell what they wanted to tell, and this what they doing, and this how they working. I went to a government agency, and I looked and I said, this is nice. And then I saw the one white man there, and maybe it's just my suspicion, like, okay, why the one white man sitting here and everybody else is black? But we never suspicious of that. We never wonder about it, think about it. And this is a big problem with us. On the African show, the African people was saying, black people in America don't realize the end of their story is not with white people, but the end of our story is with reconnecting to the black people in Africa and them connecting with us. That's what was taken away from us, the connection. And that's how you divide a people. That's how you keep them divided. That's how you conquer them. And that's how you keep them confused. Let's stop being confused. Love, peace. So we out of here.
African Americans, or so-called Negro. One of the reasons that it is bad for us to continue to just refer to ourselves as so-called Negro, that's negative. When we say so-called Negro, that's pointing out what we aren't, but it isn't telling us what we are. We are African, and we happen to be in America. We're not American. We are people who formerly were Africans who were kidnapped and brought to America. Our forefathers weren't the Pilgrims. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. The rock was landed on us. We were brought here against our will. We were not brought here to be made citizens. We were not brought here to enjoy the constitutional gifts that they speak so beautifully about today. And because we weren't brought here to be made citizens today, now that we've become awakened to some degree and we begin to ask for those things which they say are supposedly for Americans, they look upon us with hostility and unfriendliness. So our unwanted presence, the fact that we are unwanted, is becoming magnified in all of America's preachments today.